In a quiet corner of Chattanooga National Cemetery stands a monument unlike any other in America. At its peak, a bronze locomotive surges forward, forever frozen in motion. This is the Andrews Raiders Monument, a tribute to one of the most daring and tragic missions of the Civil War. Erected in 1890, this monument honors 24 men, 22 Union soldiers and 2 civilians who stepped into the heart of the Confederacy on a near-impossible mission. Their leader was James J. Andrews, a civilian spy with a plan as bold as it was suicidal: steal a Confederate train, tear across the South, and cripple the rail lines that fed the rebel army. April 12, 1862. Disguised as civilians, the Raiders boarded a northbound train in Marietta, Georgia. At Big Shanty, within sight of a Confederate training camp, they waited for the crew to step off for breakfast. In a flash, they uncoupled the engine, a locomotive named the General, and roared north. Behind them, they cut telegraph wires and attempted to burn bridges, certain they had left their enemies in the dust. But they hadn't counted on William Fuller. The train's conductor didn't give up. He gave chase. First on foot, then by handcar, and finally aboard the locomotive the Texas. In an incredible feat of guts and engineering, Fuller ran the Texas at full speed in reverse for much of the chase. What followed was a 7-hour psychological duel, with the Raiders just minutes ahead of a relentless predator. Just miles from the safety of Union lines, the General breathed its last. Out of wood and water, the Raiders were forced to abandon the engine and scatter into the Georgia woods. Every single one of them was captured. The Confederates branded them spies, not soldiers. Andrews and 7 of his men were hanged in Atlanta. The rest were thrown into prison, where some staged a daring breakout and others waited for a prisoner exchange. In the end, the mission failed to disrupt Confederate supply lines significantly. But the sheer audacity of the raid captured the nation's imagination. In 1863, 6 surviving Raiders became the very first recipients of the United States Medal of Honor, the earliest awards in the medal's history. Over time, 19 of the eligible Raiders received it, some posthumously. As recently as 2024, the last 2 were finally honored, closing a chapter over 160 years in the making. Today, the 8 executed Raiders lie reburied nearby the monument. They remind us that history isn't always shaped by vast armies. Sometimes it's shaped by a handful of men, a stolen train, and a gamble that changed the meaning of courage forever.